Late at night, on August 23, 1836, the steamboat General Gratiot forced a black schooner sailing without colors to allow the St. Clair sheriff to board the ship as it entered the St. Clair River en route to Lake Huron. The crew aboard the schooner, 23 men, were heavily armed and wearing what appeared to be some combination of British and American military uniforms. The sheriff charged the men with piracy, accusing them of stealing and butchering 3 head of cattle from a local farmer. The uniformed men sailed without official identification papers, and they refused to provide the sheriff with their names. The sheriff detained the crew and vessel for 2 days until an American military officer acquainted with the man in command of the schooner brokered a deal enabling the detainees to pay a fine in return for their release. The Vermont Phoenix, reporting the event, concluded, "Whatever may have been the occupation or design of these men, it is certain that their appearance and that of their vessel was such as to create mistrust in the minds of those who met them." This might well have been the case, for these men had set out to filibuster California from the newly independent nation-state of Mexico with the intent of founding an American Indian empire. Their mission, if not their appearance, certainly ought to have aroused the suspicion and mistrust of Americans living in the Northwest Territory during the era of Indian removal. The man in charge of the crew aboard the schooner called himself General James Dixon, although he also represented himself as Montezuma II, general and leader of the Indian Liberating Army. For approximately a year before his arrest in 1836, he made appearances in Montreal, New York, and Washington, D.C., talking up his expedition to the West and recruiting soldiers for his filibustering army. According to George Simpson, governor of the Northern Department of the Hudson's Bay Company, Dixon made quite an impression everywhere he went. Simpson described Dixon as an Englishman by birth of bold and desperate character, and noted that he cut quite a figure, being dressed in handsome uniform and sporting a large mustache and a face seamed with saber wounds.